So the head study is led by Suzanne Baker at the Lawrence Berkeley National Lab and Tarek Pasquale at the University of Pittsburgh. And their goal is to find a way to harmonize different tau PET tracers. They're mainly focusing on MK6240 and flortaucipir, but we also have a subset of individuals that are undergoing two other tau PET tracers, which are Rho 948 and PI 2620. So we are scanning individuals that are cognitively impaired young, so they're really like in their 20s, in order to have, let's say, like really controls that are not supposed to have any type of pathology in their brain. And then we, of course, have cognitively unimpaired elderly individuals, as well as mild cognitive impairment and Alzheimer's disease people. So the whole study, the one thing that's super interesting is that we have different sites that are part of the study. So, it's mainly North America because we have some in the US, one in Canada, but then we also have now people that just joined in Europe. So it's also going to be interesting for us to see, what the tracers look like in all the individuals, but also the fact that we have people from, different places, hopefully also from different racial and ethnic backgrounds. So, we have the scans, of course, but the other side of the study that we're also getting is that we have cognitive testing that are done on individuals. We're trying to have the same cognitive tests for everyone. And then we're also going to have blood-based biomarkers. Because we do want to have, of course, the main study is really to create a harmonization method for all the tau PET tracers, but we also want to see that, with all that data, what happens whenever we look at the blood-based biomarkers. So yeah. For now, if I remember correct, so we want 620 people in total. If I remember correctly, we just reached the 500. So which is really exciting. The goal would be to have everyone, at least the baseline, to be like all the data to be gathered before the end of this year, before the end of 2024. But then we're also going to have a follow-up 18 months after baseline. There are some places already that started gathering follow-up data, which is going to be even more interesting, I think, than the baseline. So we're hopefully going to get everything before the end of 2027, I think. So it's going really well, and I think we're really we're on the track to reach that goal. So it's really nice. What we wanted to see in this case, because all the different tau PET tracers that are currently used, and mainly MK6240 and flortaucipir, which is what I focused on in my talk at AAIC, we do know that they each have specific off-target regions or specific binding. And this is really what's making it harder between the two tracers to really create a good way to go from one tracer to another. So what we first wanted to see was, like knowing the off-target tracer, the off-target regions of each of the tracers. We want to see whether maybe this is what was actually influencing the association that you have between the two. So the first thing that we did was just stepwise linear fits, where this test really allowed us to see what were the regions that were impacting the associations the most. And of course, what we found is that it was really the off-target regions that seemed to be affecting at least the adjusted R-square, or the association between the two tracers. And then the next goal was to create new equations that were that were allowing us to harmonize the two tracers. So what we did is that we had on one side of the equation, we had information about MK. On the other side, we have information about flortaucipir. And it was really in order to see, let's say, create a new value of the tracer, which was including, of course, the on-target region that we were focusing on, but also including the off-target region. So every signal that's not supposed to be there that we're seeing because it's part of, let's say, the tracer identity, but that's not supposed to be there because there's no real tau in those regions. So what we did at the end is that we created those two equations. So having on one side MK6240, created new values for MK6240, and then on the other side, creating new values for flortaucipir. And what we saw is that we were really able to see that, you know, the values in the end, like the final values of MK and the final values of FTP were pretty similar. So it was interesting for us to see that, you know, by including those off-target regions or the biological factors, it really allowed us to improve the associations. We're still investigating whether this is the right way of doing it. But I think, you know, one of the tricky things of all of that of all of this is that we never really know exactly which one, like what should we focus on in order to say that a harmonization is actually working, you know. So that's also something that we're currently discussing. We're really at the beginning of all of this analysis, so hopefully we'll get, you know, we'll investigating that even more, and we'll hopefully get something out really soon.